Because there is no way that with my organization or any of your organizations that we could have reached as many people that have been reached through fitness if it weren't for our teams. We cannot ourselves reach that many people. The only way that we're able to reach so far and wide and have such a large scope and have such a large impact. I mean, everyone that you talk to anywhere has heard of Beachbody and P90X and Insanity and Brazil Butt and Turbo Fire and PIO and you name it. Everyone, if you say Beachbody, maybe not, but if you say one of those programs, everyone's heard of them. Everyone's done them or heard of them. They have a sister, or brother, mother doing them, right? And it's because we have all of these coaches who are constantly giving of themselves and inspiring other people to get into fitness and to live this healthy lifestyle. I can't meet and connect with all those people myself. You can't either. We need fitness business leaders. We need people who inspire. We need people who want to share with other people this whole lifestyle and fitness. So, where are my slides? Okay, they're there. Okay. So, I wanted to start with when I was first looking into coaching. I wanted to understand how it worked. Matt and I both. We really wanted to understand how it worked. We were very, very skeptical. And so one of the first things that I heard was that what really builds your business is building, developing, equipping business leaders, building leaders, developing leaders. So that really stuck with me. And I like that because I thought, okay, awesome. Because I don't want to be in a business where it's all about me, pushing sales, all those kinds of things. And it's the same things that you hear from your prospects. They're like, I don't want to be that girl or I don't want to be that guy, right? I didn't want to be that girl. I didn't want to be pushing products. And so when I found out that it was about helping other people have a business opportunity that is based on them being their best self and helping other people find that within themselves. I thought, that is such a cool business. I can't wait to tell everyone about this business opportunity. And so I love that that's what was going to be one of the things that would really help grow my business. So right away, I started building a team. Right away. I definitely had more coaches before I had that same number of sales. So in other words, I had 12 coaches before I had 12 sales. True. I was constantly, trying to inspire people to fitness. That's in my DNA. That's a given. So if I don't say that enough, that's only because I think that is a given. Never, that's one of your vitals. And you guys all know that. You're in here. You do your workouts every day. You know that that's at the heart of it all. That's a given. So when I started building my team, and then I got to a point where I just was really, really frustrated because I only had maybe one coach who was really engaging in the business. I had like a dozen coaches. And I just kept thinking, I guess I'm just not a good leader. I guess I just don't have what it takes. I don't know how to motivate them. And I just couldn't understand it because, you guys, these were people that I brought onto my team that were super excited about the business. These weren't people that I just said, hey, you'll get a discount. No, these people were really super excited about the business, and they weren't doing anything. I was holding meetings. I was hosting local meetings. I even rented a computer lab one time. I mean, I was doing everything, and no one was showing up. And I just thought, I really, really suck. And my amazing upline and friend Christine Dwyer put us in front of a network marketing guru. It's actually Craig Holiday. And she gave us the opportunity to meet with him. So I flew out to California and met with him. And Shalene was like, you're going to do this. You really should think of questions that you would want to ask him in case you get the opportunity to talk to him. And I thought, and I said right then and there, I said, well, there's only one thing I would want to know, and that is how do I motivate my coaches? And so anyways, once I got out to the conference, I had my aha moment there, and he said, stop trying to motivate your coaches. Just equip them. Lead by example and equip them. Equip them all. You cannot control who is going to take it and run. And I kept thinking I had that control. So when he released that, it was just like so much weight had been released from my shoulders when he said, their success is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to lead by example and equip them. Equip them all. Believe in them all. There's going to be a small percentage that have that fire within their belly, and they're going to take off of this. And I thought, that makes so much sense. And it's just like Brendan talked about. I mean, you just don't know who has that really strong necessity. You don't know. You don't know what kind of nightmare they're living in their life right now. They may not be putting that out there. You don't know what kind of big dreams they have. You don't know what that fire in their belly looks like. You can't judge that. So that's why I cringe when sometimes people say, well, I'm not finding enough rock stars. I'm not finding enough people who really want to work this business. People aren't going to come to you saying, I really want to work this business. Well, I take that back. When you get to a certain point, you will start to have some people to do that. But not in the beginning. I certainly didn't have anybody like that in the beginning. In the beginning, and I say even your first year, the first couple of years, you have people that are they're just good people. And that's what I look for now. Just good people who have such a positive mindset, and they believe in themselves, and they believe in Beachbody. And they believe in others, and they love to believe in others. They love to build other people up. So once I had this aha moment, I started with my team. I did like this, I called it I can't remember what I called it. It's a really cool name. What's that? Yeah, it was a abstract, and I did a call, and I can't remember what I called the call. But on the call, I said, we're drawing a line in the sand. We're going to do a fast track team. I need to know who's in. I've got all you guys on this team. I know you were excited at one point. You may not be now. You may be now. I don't know. I need to know. So I'm drawing a line in the sand. I need to know who's going to be on my fast track team. I'm ready to fast track this business. I've got new information. And you all can go back and have this kind of a call. And if I remember the name of it, I'll let you know because it was kind of cool. And you say, I've got new information. I'm ready to go. I'm so excited and pumped up. Just got back from the summit. I'm ready to go. I need to know who are my players. And so I started fast track team, and we got on the phone once a week, and I just had them report in on 3 things. And it was how many people they had grew their network by, how many people they had introduced the business opportunity to, and how many people they had followed up with. Those 3 things. And we didn't actually talk about sales because I didn't want them to push to make sales. I wanted them to be, doing their thing with fitness and inspiring people and helping people, but just being genuine helping people, so that if someone just needed to be told they needed to start tracking their food intake, that they felt comfortable just saying yes and trying to push a sale to have that. So those are the things that we did. And Mindy Wender, one of my top coaches who spoke today, she's amazing, and she kind of upped the game for everyone, and she started introducing the business opportunity. Well, first let me just say, I put it out there. I said, let's try to introduce a business opportunity to 3 different people every single week. 3 different people. And she started introducing the business opportunity to 5. So every week we got on the phone, and those that are on the fast track team, just a handful of coaches, and we were all like, dang, Mindy, making us look bad at the time. She's introducing this opportunity to 5 people at a time. Well, then Mindy started upping it to 10 people every week. So we all started upping our game. So, long story short, what I started to realize was that over time, and this is over the course of years, I started to realize that if we were introducing the business opportunity to a minimum of 3, bare bones minimum 3 people, but more likely minimum of 5 different people per week, that our teams just weren't going to grow. And if we weren't in turn, because they say if out of every 10 people that you introduce the business opportunity to, you have the appropriate amount of follow-ups and conversations and all that go along with it. Out of every 10 that you talk to about the business opportunity, about 1 to 3 will eventually join. So we knew that by introducing business opportunity to a good 5 people every single week, that meant that we would probably have anywhere from, don't make me do the math, I had it written down, but definitely at least 4 coaches per month, 4 to 6 coaches per month. So that became the benchmark for the team. And it's not something like you have to aim for that, like if you haven't recruited, 2 this month that you need to go ask someone that you don't think is a good fit. It was just kind of like that benchmark, like if I'm not hitting that, my business is going to plateau, and then it's going to start to fall. And I've been doing this 9 years, you guys, and I've had a lot of diamonds and star diamonds, and I can tell you, for anyone who's not there and they're not consistently bringing to the team at least 4 to 6 coaches, I know that might sound like a lot, but so many of you are bringing 1, 2, 3, you're right there. You're right there, and it's just that little bit of a tweak of focus. And any coach that has struggled and said, I don't know what's going on, I'm no longer, my volume's not there, my rank is not there. And my first question to them is, let's look at how many coaches you've been adding to your team over the last few months. Every single time, they've got way less than 4 coaches. It's 1, 2, maybe 1 month was 4, and then another month was 2, and then another one there's none, and then there's another one there's 1. Every single time, what happens is they start to lose confidence. They lose confidence in their recruiting. Okay, so if they're a good fit for coaching, you have to plant that business opportunity seed, okay? And so, so often, like I said, we look for that rock star person, the person that's, already on social media, maybe already has this amazing physique or whatever, and that's not what you should be looking for. Like I said, it just needs to be that person that has this amazing belief in themselves, they have an amazing, unstoppable, positive attitude, and they have that fire in their belly. I mean, I hate to use Mindy as another example, but Mindy, here she was, just like, I've never had a transformation story. I've been thin all my life. She said, I live in a very, very small town. I'm extremely shy. I'm an introvert. I have no social media following. She said, I've never been in a leadership type role. I mean, on and on and on and on. But she had an amazing fire in her belly. And all I needed to say to her was, Mindy, none of that matters. None of that matters. All that matters is how you make people feel and how you feel about yourself. And you can do so much with that. And she obviously did. So if they're a good fit for coaching and they've got those qualities, then plant that business opportunity seed. Now, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing if people join for the discount. It's obviously not. One of my other top coaches, Mike Kozlowski, she initially joined because she wanted the discount on Shakeology. But here's the difference, you guys, really, really key. I still planted the seed of the business opportunity first. I still kept talking to her about the fact that she had so much potential. I still kept building her confidence. I didn't lead with, hey, maybe you should do this with a discount on Shakeology, even though I knew she wanted that. I led with, you make an amazing coach. It's all learnable. Becoming a leader in this business, it's just something that you learn. So I kept planting that seed. I kept running emails. I kept running groups. I think too often what we do is we lead with the discount. Oh, you're already on Shakeology. Would you like to get the discount? Here's how you sign this coach. I think some coaches call them VIP members or something like that. I just think that can really get you in a bad situation because suddenly in your mind you kind of go, they're over here. They're not wanting to work for business. And you tend to not include them on everything, or maybe they themselves have that self-fulfilling prophecy that they're a discount coach. I've had so many people come to me and say, oh yeah, I'm actually already a coach, but I'm just a discount coach. But now I'd like to really coach. I'm like, no, you're a coach, you're a coach. You can really coach now. Stay in the team that you're on, start coaching. But they made that divide themselves. Okay, so if you aren't recruiting the minimum for smart growth call that the smart growth, then your team certainly isn't either. Trust me. Whatever you're not doing, typically, you're not training on it, you're not communicating it, you're not communicating the importance of it, so your team typically isn't doing it either. So what ends up happening at that point, your volume starts going down, your rank starts to drop, everything starts to get negatively impacted. You again start to lose confidence, you start to lose momentum. Everything just kind of starts to go downhill if you're not, it's going to be one of those non-negotiables. It's just like Success Club. I mean, hopefully all of you in this room have that non-negotiable. You're going to get Success Club, right? Same thing with building your team. It used to actually be a part of Success Club, I thought, or maybe it was a part of being a lead, that you had to each month have like one or two, one that you brought onto the team. And I was kind of bummed that they took that away because I'm sorry, if you want to build this business, you've got to be building your team. Yeah. Like I said, I feel like that needs to be there still, you know, because I feel like I feel like recruiting sometimes is like this dirty word, but I don't get it, to be honest. I don't get why that's like something that we need to brush over. It's amazing. This opportunity is amazing. I think our fitness, programs obviously are amazing, but to coach and be able to share that with other people and inspire other people, that's so much more fulfilling than being fit. So yes, I'm going to tell people about the business opportunity. So if you're not doing it, your team's not doing it. And we all know that that just impacts rank. I mean, people always say, well, how can I build my volume? How can I build my volume? Well, your volume will not build if you are not building a team of people who are building a team, of people who are building a team, of people who are building a team. Right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Take the fear out of recruiting by systematizing the startup process. So, so many people, and I'm sure you all felt it, I know I felt it, before I joined, my biggest fear about building a team was, well, I don't know how to do it myself. I don't know how to be successful, so how can I start talking to people about business opportunity if I don't know how to do it myself? So that's the same feeling that your coaches are having. They're feeling like, well, I'll wait. They're saying, I'll wait to build a team once I'm successful. Okay, well that doesn't work though, because you won't be successful unless you start building a team. So you've got to start now and plug them into the resources we have. So right away on day one, I started building a team. And I knew nothing about what I was doing, but I started plugging them into resources that I had seen or heard of through my upline, Christine, just doing whatever I could and teaching them day to day, new things that I was learning every day. And I was Google searching things, but it was something, just plugging them in. We're so lucky now that we can plug them into so many trainings right away. But have something for your team, and it doesn't need to be anything complicated. Maybe it's a YouTube, playlist that you have them go through. But obviously, a new coach training. I have a new coach training that I do every single month. And so one of the ways that I systematize that startup process is that every single month I have a new coach training, and all my coaches are invited to that, and I also call it a coach restart, so that when coaches see that that is starting again for the next month, that even if they haven't done anything with their business for they put on the back burner for the last year, or they have never done anything with their business, that they can jump in, and they've got a place that they can go. And they're all allowed to invite their coaches as well. And now, here's the thing though, we can't work our business for our coaches. We want to develop them as leaders, so I always recommend that if you have, 4 or 5 coaches or you're diamond, you should be running your own new coach training. And so if I see that, one of my diamonds or 1 stars or whatever is inviting their coaches to my new coach training, I just am being honest and letting them know that they're not going to learn as much from me as they are from you. They know you, they're inspired by you, they trust you, you know them. You have so much more meaning to them than I do. You might think you don't know as much as me, but they don't care what I know until they know I care. They know you care. So you need to be running your own new coach training. So I mostly have my newer coaches who are inviting their new coaches to that new coach training. But once they get to a certain level, I just kind of ask, you really should be doing these yourself. But if it's consistent every single month, people have the confidence to build their team because they know that's always going to be there. They feel that confidence. beware of the discount coach label. I put this in as a slide just because I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't forgotten, but I did already go over it, that people make that distinction. Either you might be making that distinction or they might be making that distinction, and it might be hurting you more than you realize. And that people might actually not be working the business because they think you've already written them off. Or they've written themselves off. Okay, so create a monthly strategy for an engaged, like-minded network that grows. So here's the deal with this. Obviously, we have all of these different ways that we should be increasing our network, growing our network. And from there, we ask, are they like-minded? Do they have a business need? That's so important. That's why you've got to be asking questions. What do you do? How's work? How are kids? What are their needs? And if yes, plant the seed. Okay? But what I want you to understand is, we talk so much about, having our coach prospects coming from challenge groups. And there's just one thing I want to point out, that not all people join challenge groups. There are probably millions of people who have tried or done the Beachbody program, who love it, totally fan of Beachbody. They're not a coach, and they have no interest in joining the challenge. There are just some people, me being one of them, I know I would have never joined a challenge group. So would you have never asked me into the business? It's just not my style. I'm an independent worker, and I would have been like, I can do it myself. And there's a whole, how many of you would not have been the type to join the challenge group? Is it just me? Okay, so it's not just me. I've had coaches where, they're killing it now, but they were never a member of challenge groups. They just never had any interest. They love Beachbody. They've been with Beachbody, doing Beachbody programs for years. But they never had any interest in a challenge group. But they're extremely interested in the business opportunity. And they love Beachbody, and they love helping other people, and they're go-getters, and they're go-givers. Just because they're not in a challenge group doesn't mean that those people aren't out there as well. So, I just want to give you a little, workflow. And you guys all know these things, so I thought maybe just take a picture of it. I don't need to describe each one of those bullet points. You totally know what these things mean. Well, maybe you don't know what CCQ stands for. CCQ stands for compliment, comment, question. So that means, you're CCQ with someone on Instagram. I love your dress. I really need one like that for Summit. Where did you get it? That's a CCQ. So you guys understand all of these, but the last three is where so many people drop the ball, so many coaches, myself included. In June, I had one of my slowest months ever in terms of building my team, and it was a good lesson for me because I had to go back and look at what I actually did, and where I fell short was in those last three. Creating that sense of urgency, the follow-up, and the last call incentive. So whether you do that in a sneak peek or maybe call it a backstage pass or whatever you want to call it, creating that sense of urgency, then the follow-up, the one-to-one follow-ups are so key, and then that last call or possibly an incentive to join. Now when I say incentive to join, I don't mean, $50 if you join tonight. One of the things that works so well for me is the fact that I let them know I have a new coach training starting. And usually the way I try to time it is I've got the new coach training starting in 2 weeks. And I let them know if you were to join by the end of the weekend, you would have 2 weeks to get through my starter trainings before you are even in the new coach training. And I have a limited number of spots. Maybe it's 5 spots, maybe it's 10 spots, whatever. And then you've got people going, I went in, is it too late? Really cool how people, react when they're like, oh, I don't want to miss this opportunity. But if they think they have years and years to think about it, they might actually take years and years to think about it. And trust me, I've had that too. So almost finished. Top 3 things that are fueling or sabotaging your recruiting effectiveness. Obviously, your vision and belief system. If you are feeling like you're in a rut, if you are feeling like you you're down on yourself, you're not doing your personal development, that's gonna come through on everything that you do. And so, we can set these benchmarks for building your team and developing your team and training your team. But if your mindset is not there, none of that is going to work. And you're gonna go, why is this not working? I've introduced a business opportunity to this many people, and out of 50 people that I've introduced a business opportunity to, no one has shown any interest whatsoever. Something's missing there. And then number two, obviously your social media presence and your brand and your vibe, that's all so important. People want to join a winning team. They want to join someone that shows energy and compassion, and that you're just really being really true to yourself. That shows courage, and people aspire to have that themselves, and they want to join that. They want to be a part of something. And then obviously your consistency and visibility on social media, because there are so many opportunities now, you guys. And what people are going to do is when they have that moment where they kind of hit rock bottom, and they're like, I need to change something in my life. Something's got to give. You want to be that person that comes to mind right away. So many times when I've posted on Instagram about the business opportunity, whenever I bring a new coach on the team, I always ask them, like, what made you decide to join, and where did you find me, blah, blah, blah. I have this whole questionnaire. And obviously, we're talking back and forth too, but I have a specific questionnaire to make sure I understand exactly why they're there. And one of the things that always comes up is that they had hit a point that day or that week, and they just realized that this is something they needed to do when they saw my post, or when they saw my message, or whatever. So it was a matter of me showing up. It wasn't a matter of them just coming to me. It was a matter of me consistently being there. So it's just so important. And lastly, they don't know your rank. You might think they do. You might think that it'll be easier once you get to a certain rank, or you get to a certain status, or whatever, or you're making, I have coaches all the time that say, it would be so much easier if I was making more money. I'm like, why? I don't tell people what I make. And I certainly wasn't telling them that when I was in my first week of making nothing and building a team. I just told them about potential, because it wasn't about me, it was about them. Totally not about me. They only know if this business fits the need for them. And they only know if they trust your leadership. So make sure that you are providing them with that assurance and that belief in them. Thank you.